what's the material code you created? I think that was the internal material code, right?
Which one, sir?
For ಇದು finish code shirt.
Same shirt, pant, and a button.
Okay, shirt, pant, and the shirt under KHB1 or KH11.
KHB1. Shirt, percent.
KH11.
Yes, sir. KH11 underscore shirt.
Yes, what's your error? You have not set.
Miro entry. I'm unable to post the Miro entry
Yeah,
after
post
the
it.
GL.
Post it. Post
Wait.
it. Whatever you're saying.
This is the error I'm getting. Invoice reference number must have 64 character. This the GST partner is asking. After so it's asking
No,
business
no,
area,
reference
business.
number. Oh, it is referring to reference number field, I believe.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಬೇರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಬನ್ನಿ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕಮ್ ಡೌನ್. ಇದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಫುಲ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಎಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ಅದು IRA ನಂಬರ್ ಆನಂದ್ ಅದ್ರ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು.
ಅದು ಇನ್ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ನಂಬರ್. ನಾವು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ
ಅದೇ GST ಅಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ IRA ನಂಬರ್ ಅಂತಾನೆ.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಆ ಥರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಇನ್ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ನಂಬರು ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇದನ್ನ ತಗೊಳತ್ತೆ, ಏನು PO ಟರ್ಮ್ಸು ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಈ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಬಾರ್ದು, ಯಾರೋ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ PO ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಇನ್ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ನಂಬರು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಕ್ಲಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಲೈಕ್ ಸೇ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ.
ಓಕೆ,
ಅದು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್, ಬಟ್ ನಾಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ದಟ್. ಏನಿದೆ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಏನಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ ಮೇಲೆ 4000 4000 ಹಾಕಿ 4000. ಈ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಕೇಳುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ 4000. ಸೊ ಎಂಟರ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡಿಟರ್ಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಇದಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದು D2A. ಮತ್ತೆ T03K ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಟೇಬಲ್.
6 ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಕೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ತೋರಿಸೋದಲ್ಲ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ? 6 ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. T0306 ಕೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ?
ಕೆ ಅದು
business place.
ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ
ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಡಾಟಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡಿ. ಅದು ಇದನ್ನ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಡಾಟಾ ಇದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕೋಡ್ 0 ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಯಾವ್ದಾರು ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇರೋದು ನಿಮ್ದು. OBB ಇದ್ರೆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕೋಡ್ ನಿಮ್ದೇ ಇದೆ, ಇದು ನಿಮ್ದೇ ಇದಾಗಿದೆಯಾ ನೋಡಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್, ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಅಲೌಡ್. ಪೋಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ MMRBಲಿ.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಈಗ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು.
ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡಿಟರ್ಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಅದೇ ಪೋಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇದ್ರದ್ದು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಓಕೆ, ಅದೇ ಅದೇ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್. T030 ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಚೆಕ್ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಇದಾಕಿ ಎಡರ್ ಡಾಟಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಬಟ್ ಇದು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಡಿಟರ್ಮೈನ್. ಇದು ನಾನು ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಡಿಟರ್ಮೈನ್.
ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇದು ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ನೀವು ಇದಾಕಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಡಾಟಾ ಹೋಗಿ. ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಡಾಟಾ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕೋಡ್ ಹಾಕಿ.
ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕೋಡ್ ಹಾಕಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, TDS ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ.
ಅದನ್ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕೋಡ್ನ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಬನ್ನಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವೆಂಡರ್ ಎದುರುಗಡೆ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ 10 ಹಾಕಿ.
ಓಕೆ,
ಎಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಂಡೇಟರಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
ಹಾ ಸರ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ
4,000 is not exist.
ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್
ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕದು.
ಓಕೆ
ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ TDS ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ ಸರ್, ಮಾಡಿ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಇದು ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಇದೊಂದು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟು ನಾವು ಇದು OBYC ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬಂದು ಇದ್ದೀವಿ.
OBYC
MM02 ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಎಡಿಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಸರ್.
ನಾನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ನಾನು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಇದೆ. ದೆನ್ is ಕ್ಲೋಸ್, ನಾಟ್ ಎ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಚೆಕಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್. ನೀವು ಬಿಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ.
ಹೌದು ಸರ್, ಬಿಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ.
ಅದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಿತ್ತು, ಅದು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ I just checked. Okay, is completed here. Let me share. So bill of materials, just I'm creating here. So one is cloth. Cloth page 11. So L. So esto one quantity, and come down L, and button KH11 and L. This is what we are doing, if you remember, buttons and thread. So we are creating bill of materials. That means like for the purpose of like to produce one shirt. So how much quantities of raw materials we required. This is what we are doing here. Okay. So cloth, buttons and thread, and we are entering it. So once it is saved, and yeah, already tried actually. So what we have done, just let us recap before we go. As a part of integration, after CO is completed. So what we have done, we planned to understand a flow here. Okay, what is the flow actually? The flow is we are going to purchase some raw materials and we put into produce, and we produce it and we'll this one. So there are many questions will come. You are going to purchase raw materials. Yes, how you are going to purchase? And yes, we are putting into production. Yes, you are going to produce. How you are going to track that in SAP? And also, when you produce that shirt, what is the cost you are going to incur? So that means these questions are going to be answered here. One is when you start purchasing, you have to purchase asset. So purchase raw materials and put into production. And then we should keep it to we have sent it back to the inventory. Finished good, we should send it back to the inventory. Then we'll do the sales. Then if you are purchasing, it's not like finance entries, this one. So there is a department and other things, and how you purchase, how to purchase. We'll understand with this purchase that in SAP, how integration is going to be done. So when you push it for a production, yes, and we are going to push it for a production, the production people, how to track production. We are not going to produce, how to track production. And at the same time, and this is going to be PP integration. But at the same time, we get one more question. You are going to track production. Yes, the production thing is going to happen. What's the cost? Cost of production. So then this is going to be CO integration with FI. So then the finished good go to inventory, then we are going to do the sales. So when you do the sales, like how sales happens, that means track, and this is SD integration. So at the same time, there is a like FI entry should be done. That means the goods issue. That means everywhere we have this actually. FI entry is everywhere is there, because that's the reason we are learning. So what is we are actually getting this here? Just take this to the next level. So here, everywhere, actually we have that FI connectivity is there. That's the reason we are learning this. Or else we don't learn at all. Why do you want to learn? For example, we are not learning here what? We are not learning any other module like logistics and other things in dollar or else something like whichever is not at all related to FI. We are not at all touching that one. We are touching the modules which are have an effect on FI module. That means when you do the purchases, yes, we have the goods receipt and invoice receipt, that is FI integration. So because the transactions is going to happen automatically. Goods receipt, invoice receipt. So then when you do the PP integration, yes, we are going to understand. So goods issue against production order and goods receipt against production order. That means we issue the goods against production order to produce, maybe raw materials we issue or semi-finished goods, and also we receive the finished goods whichever they produced, and then the finance impact is there. And then the sales also as the same thing. When you do the sales here, we are going to understand. Okay. So one is when you do the confirmation of sales, like goods issue will happen, that finished good is issued from store to the customer. Goods issue
Goods receipt
against
against production order is nothing but finished goods, right?
no receive goods receipt, right?
Goods receipt
Yes,
against
yes,
production order, that is
yes.
finished
Finished.
goods. Okay.
Yes. This is goods issue against sales order and billing entries. So here the beauty is, so this is the finance impact. All these three, which this model, this is the finance impact, what you are seeing here.
How about the defect raw materials? Adillagate, Anand, how it will get accounted?
One sec, I'll tell you. So this is FI integration. FI integration. So FI is by default integrated to CO, right? As you know, right? FI is default, it's connected to CO. That
Yes.
means you don't require any CO integration separately here. So by default, CO is connected, integrated. Because FI is just connected with CO by birth itself. Like that means when you are doing a configuration itself, you do the setups. Now the question comes here, like this is CO part is the okay, we get this like cost of product. That means in CO we have some mechanism Okay, when the production activity is going on, yes, whatever the FI entry will happen, that automatically give the FI connectivity, and in that FI, whatever the information need to be captured for the CO purpose will be captured automatically. With that, we also connect the CO part will that means this production cost will come under CO. So that's the reason that's also integrated. Other than this, all these three models what we are seeing here, it is connected to FI because of a transaction is going to be posted automatically. That's the ultimate goal of integration understanding. Now you asked me that one question, that is scrap, how the scrap is going to be accounted, raw material scrap. It's just we just wipe off from this one, that Migo is there, right? So when you do the Migo or something, Migo is for a goods issue, goods receipt and everything. So if they want to like wipe off some raw materials which is scrapped or something, they'll just reduce the value through issuing to the cost centers. Or we call it as issue to the cost center. That means that they'll reduce the value from the GL account by issuing to the cost center as scraps or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Understood.
So there is a, like in what is happens, there is a movement type to capture. See, all are not like something here magic. Okay, very simple. So in like what we are like this. So they have this Migo, and they like they want to reduce some. Say for example, in raw material. In raw material, we have 10 quantity of 100 rupees. That is the 1000 rupees GL value is there. Just assume this. So in the 1000 rupees GL value, so they have to reduce one quantity. Just assume that because of they want to scrap this. Maybe they lost it or whatever the reason. Then what they do, they have some mechanism in Migo. Okay, they issue goods not against it, because if they issue goods against a production order, that will go to accountability in finance. They'll track it. Okay, the goods are in actually in production unit. Okay, if they issue for any other things like maybe for the cleaning purpose and other things and all, they will track it as an expense. And also, if this is an issue, they will do the issue against scrapping, means they will book it as an okay loss on transit, or maybe loss on like a handling or something. If they have the separate GL, and they'll give it, they'll be that's already assigned actually. So that's going to be pick up automatically. So what they do, these type of issues, like they issue, like say for example, if you take only issue, they may issue the goods for production against production order. They may issue the goods against sales order. They may issue the goods for against like consumption. What we call it as a consumption means like self-using. Maybe some chemicals they use to clean the floors and other things. They issue that goods. That's a consumption. And they may sometimes like the scrapping may happen. Sometimes they may transfer to other department. Okay, that means they may issue to not transfer, issue to departments. Maybe something like say for example, they have some stock which is like which you can treat it as something, they use it for and give it back to the this one, then they will issue to the department like this. So how do they track this? They have called in they have the concept of movement type is there. Movement type. So this will give them idea. Okay, what is actually the issue is actually the movement types will help them to identify. Okay, this movement is for this type of issue. This movement is for this type of issue. Just like, just like you remember uh, the best example I can say, we called it as a posting keys, right? All are debit only. All are credit only. Only you can see only debit and credit in finance, right?
Yes.
Huh? So why they use the posting key means to identify the nature of transaction. That means I can credit the vendor. Okay, credit the vendor for invoice booking, right? Invoice booking I can credit, or else sometimes I may need to add some money, but it's not related to invoice or something. Maybe I miss something, or maybe something is I want to give him as an like maybe like reward or something, some other reasons, or else something I want to reverse it. Say, for example, I have done some debit note created, but then I want to reverse that. Then also I do the credit to them, right?
Mm.
Okay, reverse debit note. That means when you're doing debit note, you get debit the vendor. But then you realize you don't want to do that. Then you credit the vendor. Then when you see the credit, so you see this credit, this is also credit, and this is also credit. Then we'll get confused. So what is this credit is? If you use only CR, what is this say this one, or what is this credit? So that's the reason what SAP made. They created scenario wise posting keys. That's it, very simple. Okay, so that you can see now. On the time you might not understood that, but now you can see. We go to F-04. Here, posting keys, we have that idea. So one is first analysis types, account types. So if I come here to the vendor, see vendor debit, vendor debit, vendor debit, vendor debit, vendor debit, vendor debit, vendor. So here, vendor credit. So vendor can be credited for invoice, vendor can be reverse credited for debit memo. Actually, they mentioned credit memo. Actually, it's debit memo. And vendor can be credited for some other payables. Vendor can be credited for incoming. So if you are getting some money from vendor, we can do that. And this will skew the scenario. And this posting keys will identify easily. Okay, if it's a 31, it's an invoice credit. If it's in like 37, it's another credit. If it's in like something 35, it's an incoming credit. The posting keys will help you to analyze what type of credit it is. Most of the time, system will take. But this is the way this is designed, not more than that. For vendor it is there, for customer is there, for GL it is there, and for assets it's there, and for materials it is there. Movement, different kind. The same way, the materials also is tracked using this. Issue is same. They're issuing, but movement type will tell you what type of issue it is. Okay, like that. So 1 second, please. Okay. Hello. So
Yeah,
you got
Anand.
it? You got the clarity, right?
Yes.
So now this is what and where we were actually in our this one, and we have already completed this purchases. Okay, this part is done. Okay, and production also configuration wise it is done, and we wanted to go for a process. That means the system has changed because due to that say, old server has gone, and we got a new server, and in that new server, uh, this one like. Venkatesh already done. Venkat is already done. That what we are trying to do is so he struck here. That means there are some processes for this. So this is what we did. So next class we have stopped here. We wanted to create a production order. Before that, we have made an integration with PP. That means the part of this MM is done, and we have already purchased the materials whichever is required to send it for production. That is done. Okay. The second part, we have to track the production here without the costing. This part we need to do. So to do that, we done the configuration. We have done the configuration. We were actually about to create production order and issue the goods. That means this is the issue the goods and receive then confirmation and uh, receive the goods against production order. So that means in that how we are going to track this production order and all we wanted to see that. So we were there and we are going to do that again. The configuration is very simple here because we are just taking basic and standard. We are not taking any the new and other things and all. Okay. Let me like this is not like something like creation and all. It's almost out of 6 configurations, 5 is copy from 0001. And then we important is we understood the routing and we understood what is actually work center. Then we started creating production version we created, then this one. So what I do, I'll start from this scope. This is okay, not a problem. And I'll start from this routing and the production activity, what is routing and all. So we'll take a break now because just for 10 minutes and then we'll connect again. Okay, we'll continue freshly. So
Okay.
got it right? Yeah. So it is 12:35. I'll connect at 12:51. Okay, 12:15.
Okay.
I'll connect. Yeah. Hello. Hello.
Yes, Anand.
Okay. So now this is what we are doing, and we'll continue. Any questions before that?
I'm not sure if Venkat or Sham is on the call.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, hi Anand.
Oh, yes, Sham. Okay, so any questions before we go? Okay, so what we call it in routing, right? The in production units, the routing concept is like
Just a minute. Let's check if Venkat, you're there, Pritik?
Pratik is there.
I am there, Sham.
Oh, okay. Venkat is not there. Okay, we will start. Continue.
Okay. So it's a production process. That means like the process identification, we call it as routing. That means a product which goes under with the different sections or different process or stages. Example, in our example, like let me take like we are producing a shirt. The shirt is will come like when the cloth is coming to the section, cutting section. They cut the cloths according to the requirement and length and whatever it is measurement, and then it will move to the stitching section. And then once the stitching is done, the washing is done, then the ironing, then the packing. That means this is the flow of like how the a production need to be produced. This is what we call it as in SAP routing. So this is completely production planning consultant concept. They will take care of it. But as we are doing this integration understanding, we are understanding just a basic of it. So each section, what you're seeing here, like we can identify, I'm telling we can identify it as a work center to track a particular activity. That means work center is an active that's in it's an identity in the production order. So where they track that activity according to the requirement. So here to go further, whatever we want to do, like if you want to create one production order and other things and all, it's mandatory that we should have routing and routing. So that routing should have at least one work center. Should have at least one work center. Then only the routing can be created. So we are not going to create like this 5 work centers, because if you do so, you have to do multiple configurations beyond that, and that will go to the deeper to the production planning. But we don't want to go for that. So that's the reason what we are doing here. So we do this routing, and one work center and one routing. So first we have to create work center. The creation of work center, we can do it in CR0, and I'll create it with a generic concept. The generic concept I'll create, like say for example, KHB1. One work center, a common work center I'll create. So I go here. So go to CR01. So KHB1 underscore WC work center. And this should be 3. Work center category should be 3. Already exists. This is created already. That means Venkat is already created this. Let me check out in CR03 what he has created. Let me show you. So there's some configuration relating to this work center category and SAP mapping and this person responsible. And when you go to default values, you have to enter PP01. PP01 is the standard this type, like this production order type, which we use it. And then go to costing here. In costing, we assign one cost center. That means we can assign a different cost center for each work center, or one cost center for all cost work center. That means we can track the cost is getting incurred for that particular work center using this. Okay, this is what. So this basic is done. Then once this is done, the routing has to be done. The routing is going to be, we are going to do in a CA01, and it's already done. Let me go to CA03 for this material. If I go inside, this is what the routing. The routing number is 502, and the group counter is 1, and this is what is happened over. One second. And here we are going to connect that work center and the plant and whatever it's we have done, and we are going to connect this routing here to the routing. So when you save this routing will give you one number. So this number is going to be equal to the routing number. That routing number we have to connect to material. That is what is required. The routing number, so whichever we created, that need to be connected to production version, we call it. That means we have to link it to that production. We call it as a production version. That we can do it in C223, but we are going to do it in MM02 because it's easier than C223. So this is where the Venkat is stopped actually. I'm going to show you now further. So go to MM02, enter the material and enter plant and go inside. So here the most important is the work scheduling. So here the production option version is there. Click on, actually generally it's going to be blank to you. Enter 1 here and enter the name of production version and the date from automatically it takes end of the era. And just continue. And then again click on this production order, double click on it. So once the double click is done, we have to update this. One is we have to update valid from automatically it takes, and minimum says 1 to 999, what is the maximum you want. And you should give the routing here, group, that is routing number you have to give here, and group counter 1 you should give, and alternative BOM is 1.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, I lost internet. Yes.
Yeah, Anand.
So now I created a routing here. I need to link it. So then I will go here. M02. So because my old session is locked in this one, that's the reason it's showing me logged by this. So then let me try SL1. Not sure whether it works for this or not. So go here, work scheduling, go to production version, double click. I should assign this group counter and bill of material, and he is not assigned that, and routing here and 502 and maximum and minimum quantity. Then once it is done, enter in keyboard. Date of production version do not match with the alternative bill of material. So that means bill of materials just today I created. Let me create version today only. 7, 4. So when we are correct, we get this check status. So we have to click just check, and we should get this bill of materials exist. Yes, okay. This is clear. And task list not exist. There is something is missing here. Let me check out. Because one is going to be green and another is going to be red. That should not happen actually. So that should be like both should be green, then only we can go ahead further. So that means there should be some error. Let me cross check again. Task list inconsistency for production version. Okay, what is this production version? This one, and routing is there. And let me cross check with routing. Anything is missing. So that is CA02. KHB1. PP01, and this one is okay. This looks okay. Text should be there. Standard text routing. This looks okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Hello.
ಹೇಳಿ ವೆಂಕಟ್.
Hi, sir. Sorry for late.
ಹಾ, ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ತುಂಬಾ ಲೇಟ್
ಸರ್ ಇದು
ಆಗಿದೆ.
ಕ್ರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಅದು ಲಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಕೂಡ ಆಗಿದೆ.
ಒಂದು
MM
ಎರರ್
02
ಬಂತು.
ಕೂಡ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ.
MM02 ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ.
ಆಗಿದೆ ಸರ್,
ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ
ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
ಸರ್, ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ. ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಅದು ನೀವು ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾಗಲೇ ಅದು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. MM02 ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿದಿರಾ, ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ವರ್ಷನ್.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಆಗಿದೆ, ಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿದೆ.
ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ.
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್, ಇದೆ.
ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ
ಓಕೆ.
ಚೆಕ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ?
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್, ಚೆಕ್ ಕೊಡಿ ಸರ್. ಅದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಕೌಂಟರ್ ಏನು ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಡಿ ಸರ್, ಅದು ಹಾಕಿಟ್ಟು ತೊಗೊಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಕೌಂಟರ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಡಿ, ಈಗ ಚೆಕ್ ಕೊಡಿ ಸರ್, ಅದೇನು ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಡಿ.
ಕಿತ್ತಾಳುತ್ತೆ. ಬಿಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಬಾಂಬ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ 2 ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಬರಬೇಕು, ರೆಡ್ ಇದೆ.
ಅದೆರಡು ಹಾಕಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಆಲ್ಟರ್ನೇಟಿವ್ ಬಾಮು ಅದು MT ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್.
ಅದು ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋದಾಗ ನೋಡಿ, ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಬಿಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಡಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದ ಡೇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಟುಡೇ ನಾನು ಬಿಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು.
4/7.
ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಚೆಕ್ ದಿಸ್, ಐ ಗೆಟ್ ಬಿಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್, ಬಟ್ ಅನದರ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಟಾಸ್ಕ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್, ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಿ ಫಾರ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ವರ್ಷನ್. ಸೊ ದ ಟಾಸ್ಕ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಹಿಯರ್. ಸೊ ಟಾಸ್ಕ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಕ್ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, CR02. Somewhere else we get here task list. ಇಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ, ಟಾಸ್ಕ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ರೂಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತಾ? ಜಸ್ಟ್ something is missing. Just one second, I just remember it. Task list ವರೆಗೂ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ಟಾಸ್ಕ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. So task list in end routing is taking shop flooring. ರೆಡ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Routing and group is routing. Group counter is 1. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ just we need to check it out. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ if I have created I could have get an idea. But here okay, let me create a new routing. So this routing is created on 21st and bill of material is created today. Without bill of materials, having routing is actually is not correct. Okay, so instead what I do, I go for CR01 again, CA01 again. I use the same work center, but I just create this. This is already there, right? Let me create a new one. So group counter is 2 and the usage is overall status is 4. Is one. Go for operations. Work center is KHB1 underscore WC BP01 description show production. Okay. Again, the same routing 5602 with group counter 2 is created. Here we are going to change only group counter. Okay. MM02. This is 1 and 1, but this time is 2. Group counter and other things are same. Okay. Routing is valid from today. There is something is missing there. So task list inconsistency, that is warning. Task list group wise into alternative group to planning and planning type. Need to check this to go further because so it is not a regular error. Let me try from C223. The same concept, we do it in a little bit different. That's it. So what is the material? Production option is one. Shared production. Existing. Now you are getting right. That was not accepting over there, but here it exists and exists. Then it will be in green, both will be in green. Okay, this is what we can do the same thing in C223, and MM02 is easier than C223. That's it. So if you try at once, it will work in CMM02 only. There is no worry. So once this is done, and let us go and routing is completed. That means as per list, you understood the linking of routing. So once this is done, the configuration is completed. The meaning of configuration is completed, and we are going to create now the production order. That means what is the production order? We are going to plan a produce a shed, so that production order is going to be created by production department. So when you do the production order, there is no finance impact. But when the goods is issued against the production order, then the financial transactions will come to picture. That means system will go and check OBYC, because that's a material movement. System will go and check it in OBYC. So for these GLs, like raw material stock is going to be credited. The stock is already exists, that's going to be credited. And consumption account is going to be debited. So that can be consumption, can be WIP if it's in month end. Risho, sound kadame kodu. File ಬಿಡೋದನ್ನ ಎಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. So now lock ಮಾಡಕ. So we are going to create this sorry and raw material consumption account is going to be there. So system will check for that. So we have to create this consumption account, and we have to first do this whatever the transaction, those things, then we go for creation. Okay, so system will check this GBB VBR. You know, right? Already OBYC settings means
even consumption account is represented with material code or what, Anand?
It is not, it's an expenses GL.
Okay, expenses.
So that is when you post entries, it will capture the material code in the transaction automatically. Material code is going to be. So that means when goods is issued, so say for example, the production order is going to be created, and production people will go and approach, okay, inventory department, saying that, okay, we got a production order and we created that means we got a production request, so that we created a production order. As per the bill of materials, please issue the goods. So when they issue the goods, that means the inventory is going to be, from finance perspective, the inventory GL will get debited, credited. That means the stock is getting issued to the production department. And actually the production department, if they're responsible, they have to take this issue, or else this, no, whatever the issues is made with the production. So I missed the track. So the production department will issue the goods, but finance department is responsible to post the transaction. But here system is going to post the transactions automatically based on the criteria. So that is what is going to happen. First, we have to create a GL account. For that, the consumption account, it is already there. So whether it is there or not, we'll check out in FS00. And administration and other expenses is there. There is no consumption account. Okay, let me go and create this. So this one, under operations and manufacturing head, go and create. So this is a primary cost account, and it comes under administration expenses. This is consumption of SFG is there. It's raw materials we will take. And control data, as usual, other data we can enter.
I'm sorry, small clarification. This consumption will be part of P&L,
Yes.
and raw materials, whatever.
Raw materials is a balance.
Balance sheet, alva?
Yes.
Okay.
What's the logic behind it? We had discussed in the first class itself. What's the
Yeah,
difference between
because stock we will show it as part of our balance sheet. That is the reason it will be part of balance sheet. But consumption, even after consumption, it will again come to a stock only, finished goods stock.
Yes, it will convert. That means the logic is behind it. We have purchased the stock and it's in stock. That means in the inventory. And the production order will use it. How much they used to produce the stock, that's going to be in expenses. So finally, if they use some of the materials, that means it's cost of goods manufactured. Okay. The expenses will come. And they will issue the reissue means again the one of the COGM. COGM will get credited actually on the time. You can see here.
No,
So this is P&L account, and this is also P&L.
Okay, once the finished goods comes, that will also be part of P&L.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, then ultimately, see, I have just assumed that I made 141 rupees here, raw materials which I issued. So that finished good will add 141 rupees here. That means we are not actually adding any of the other materials or else any other indirect or direct anything. We are directly taking raw materials is issued and we are just turning into finished good with the same value.
Understood.
But adding other things is just the second part. But understanding the entries is important. Got it right?
Clear.
Yeah. So now we got this one like this. So the consumption account we are going to do that, and I had done this. And also at the time same, I require COGM also. I tell you the logic later stage, but let me create this COGM also. The next GL. Cost of goods manufactured, the total cost which is incurred to produce a product. Produce, not a sell. Produce a product. Cost of goods manufactured. COGM. Cost of goods manufactured. So this one, what system will do when this scenario arises, like when the production order is asked for the goods to be issued against production order from inventories, then when they issue the goods, they'll issue it after the approval and all. But finance department need not to worry. Automatically the system, what happens, the way the backend system posts this transaction, what system will do? System will come to OBYC and check these transactions. One is BSX. So based on the, okay, what type of what type of material it is, the valuation class, raw materials or finished good or semi-finished goods, it will search the BSX, the stock GL, which raw materials are issuing, and then the consumption account, it will search in GBB VBR. GBB is just a group, like we call it as offsetting this one, but in simple words, it's a group of transactions under this GBB. Go to OBOAC, and we already have the BSX, that raw materials GL is there, because so 3000, its GL is there. So now what system we have to do? We have to go to GBB. GBB. So in GBB, actually, we have to select this one. First time when you're doing now, you have to select general modification and valuation class. So you should not select valuation modification, general modification and valuation class. So general modification means, here I mentioned, this is the VBR is there, right? Under GBB, VBR. Okay, just go inside and enter general modification VBR. That means system will come and check, okay, VBR under GBB for consumption account when the goods are issued. What is the GL to be credited? So if it's a raw material, then the system should pick up this GL account. This is my instruction to the system. And at the time of receiving goods, the cost of goods manufactured GL it will find, because we already have the finished goods under BSX. Okay, you can go here, you can go back under BSX. $7,920 finished good. Debit or credit, it will find out from here. So now I have to go to GBB and enter this AUF. Again, it's a finished good, because while issuing, we are issuing as a raw material. But while you're getting, it's a finished good. Then it should be 7920. So then the GL account is this one. This is the total cost incurred to produce a finished good of shirt. It will capture that goods of manufactured. That's the cost of manufactured goods. Sorry, not goods of manufactured. It's the cost of goods manufactured. Save this. So now let us try to create this production order. So go to CO01 to create a production order. I hope this is clear, right? The transaction wise, it is clear to you. What is this consumption and other things? Any questions?
No, sir, from my end.
No.
Now I go and create a production order. That's my material is which I want to produce is, let me enter. So this right material. shirt underscore KS11. So the production order is 5627. It's on 527. So production order type is by default is standard because they have the different production order type and version and other things. So that's the deeper subject to control the production activity, but we don't require, we use the standard one, PP01. Enter. First thing is how much you are producing, that you should tell here. One quantity. And you can select this end date or end date enter is not required, it automatically takes. Enter one quantity, it takes based on the current date. So you should get this scheduling carried out automatically. So then you can release this. Release rejected actually. So it should be carried out. So what is the issue? Let me check out. So I can go to edit here. Logs is there in the go to. And let me check releasing as some problem. So there is an error. So no profit center ender, although profit center accounting is active. Okay. So in material master, MM02 for costing, the costing is not extended, only accounting is extended. So what you should do, that means accounting means FI, the real GL transaction. If you want to find out a cost of a product, we should extend that costing part as well. So what is the extent? If you already created something, that if you want to edit something, then you can go to MM02. Then you get that, okay? So whatever you extended, you can see here, there is no costing here. So what you should do, if I want to extend it, that costing tab also should come. Because costing by default, it will be there. But if you activate, it will come, or else it won't come at the time of edit or display. Now go to MM01 again. Enter the same material. The material type is same. Already extended or things are is not a problem. But I want to extend this costing to. Two tabs are there. So what you can do, you can just deselect this and select only this costing 2, costing 1 and costing 2. Because as we are doing this costing also, and also as profit center is activated, so we have to update a profit center here. One profit center which is relating to. That's the time of posting transactions, system automatically pick up these things. And it tracks. So let me take shirt, P shirt KH11 profit center and save it. So now let me go and create CO01, one quantity, schedule carried out, and click on this green flag. Release carried out. This is what is required and save it. So yes, okay, you can give a save. So order number 2041 is created. The order number is 2041. Erisha? Order number is 2041. So now after this, we have to go issue goods against this production order. Let us go to Migo. Migo. So what actually the process we are doing? We are doing, the action is goods issue. So against, not reservation, against order, that is production order. The production order is 2041. As soon as you enter production order, as per the bill of material what we have maintained, system has to pick up all the things. So there is a problem. That's what I noticed. Okay, here when I'm saving this, right? Like it's generated a number. Actually, I go and create one more production order. So as we already created 2041, system is showing it's not there actually. Why? The reason behind it, CO01, I create one more. So scheduling carried out and release it and save it. Yes. So it's system generated, but when I'm going back, you notice one thing here. So express document update was cancelled this week because it is not going to save it in tables. The reason behind it, the number range is actually used already. The problem is what happens in this demo system, right? The people without their knowledge, they delete the number range and they create new number ranges for the orders and other things and all. Example, this PP01 is there, right? If you go to SPRO, IMG, top flow control and master data. Risha, ಅಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳು. So define number ranges for order is there, right? For this. So this number ranges without their knowledge, they delete and they knew. Like I can delete all these things and they create. So when I create this one, system will take. But when it is trying to take, so trying to save the transaction in table, the system finds the same number is already exist. Then that will give that error. So what I want to do now, I have to select one number range, which is actually correct one. What we do now, we will continue this in the next class. I'll just check out which one. Hey, close the door. So we'll continue in the next class that I'll just check out which is the number one and we'll continue with fresh one. However, you will get some time to practice. You do practice till here. You got the history and idea and all. Now you get like you have to practice. At least you get idea and before like we go further because we are going to test the costing. So when we receive the goods and all, we do the costing here. Okay, got idea? Is it clear?
Yeah, okay, Anand.
Okay, when we are going to meet again?
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday? Why not Monday?
Monday we said we will be catching up for practice, no?
Tomorrow you have, right? Tomorrow? It's Saturday only. Huh?
Personal work ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
Okay. But what is that? My request is before at least next Saturday, get ready.
Yeah.
Everyone,
Yes,
please
yes.
follow up and finish it up. Or else it's
Yes.
going to be again the same story will continue. It should not happen. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
All.